get to the Emmys. The other day, the Emmy Awards were on TV, and
here we are 5 days later getting to it.
Winners, and we had some losers, so let's get to it. I thought the best acceptance speech of an Emmy.
Yes.
That award was won by...
Fivish Finkel?
Fivish Finkel.
This guy,
won for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama for the show Picket Fences.
I didn't see his speech, so I'm anxious to hear it, Robin, but I saw this guy on MTV last night. This guy's got to play my father.
You're right. He is your father.
I'm going to talk to my casting person, Avi, about this.
So here's Fivish Finkel.
This guy looks like he's a dead ringer for my old man.
Just needs to lose a little hair.
That's all. Little hair? He had no hair.
No, he had hair. He had more hair than your dad.
You thought that hair was real?
Yeah.
All right. Here is Fivish Finkel, Robin, your new hero. I need to act with this guy.
I don't care how much time they gave me. I waited 51 years to get on this stage.
All right, guy's really into it.
Imagine him screaming, "Shut up! Sit down!
Shut up! Sit down!" No, he's playing my father.
He's perfect.
Scary.
Shut up! Sit down!
He did Jackie's laugh at the beginning.
I know.
Of the tape.
Shut up! Sit down! Shut up! Shut up! Sit down!
I told you not to be stupid, you moron.
Who is that? Is that Fivish Finkel?
No, that's my father.
Hello, Howard, I'd like to ask you a question.
This is all in the movie, by the way.
How do you feel about religious services and why children should attend them? Don't shout it.
Well, you see...
Don't shout, I said.
well, let's say... Well, if you want to be religious, I think you should go to it. And also...
You hear my father enunciating? Yes. Yeah.
Please don't hit me.
Yeah, right.
You are so nervous.
Oh, because if you...
Like
well, wait, you'll see what happens.
Of a firing squad.
You'll see what happens.
Oh. Let's say you want to go up and
man.
you wouldn't know what
you would want to kill yourself.
You'd learn something there. You learn to...
You know what you're going to do is you're going to kill yourself when you do something like this.
And that's all.
Alan?
Oh, wait, here goes my sister.
How do you feel about the new Roosevelt football team? Do you feel that it is a benefit, educational-wise, or does it give the children that attend these games a feeling of belonging? I'd like to have your opinion.
Yeah, great.
Well, I think that
No, he doesn't want your opinion. He wants to hear himself talking to the mic. Just put me in a plane and aim it toward the White House.
Did you have any idea that this was supposed to be fun for you guys?
No. Oh, wait. You'll see. Wait. The tension builds. And Ellen's no better than I am, but he never picks on her because she's a girl.
Roosevelt football team is just wonderful, and I think when people go, they really get thrills out of it, seeing their own game being played, and they won 4 games, as I recall. And
she's got marbles in her mouth, but he didn't say anything to her.
She's not making any
she can't even get the grammar. No one makes sense in front of my father. When you're a little kid, you're shaking.
She's nervous.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, yeah.
I think the people are just...
You don't understand. We got a big lecture before he turns on the mic.
Oh.
Now listen, I want you not to yell into the microphone. I want you to answer in a serious fashion.
I just thrilled with the whole idea.
Thank you very much. One other question.
Now, you see, she passed. She just passed. Now watch.
Back to you.
Now back to Howard. And I'm like shaking him. Don't pick on me. Don't call on me.
I need someone
And he
to
never
punish.
thanked you for your first response.
No, he never thanks me. Because I'm a boy. My father, this is how you raise a son. Daughter is different.
Do you feel that the United States should remain in the United Nations as a member of the United Nations?
Now, remind us of how old you are.
5.
And he's asking you about the United States
It doesn't matter.
staying in the United Nations.
This is Dad not talking down to children.
Yes, I really do.
Is there any special reason why you feel that they should?
Well, there should be peace in all the countries, and we wouldn't want any war. Because we don't want the Japs anymore.
I told you not to be stupid, you moron. Ellen, I would like...
How's that?
Well, what made you go off, though? I mean, why
Because
did you... Was the tension so great that you just erupted?
Because, like you'll see in my movie, when a general manager tells me not to be stupid, and my father tells me not to be stupid, and everyone tells me not to be stupid,
You gotta be stupid.
I have to be stupid. I think stupidity is fun.
But, you were so scared of him. I'm just surprised.
Of course, Robert. Did you hear that question? I couldn't answer that question now. I'm 5 years old. And I knew he was going to yell at me eventually, because he always does.
What was this tape supposed to be for? Just for the...
For fun. It was this is what it was for.
Outing.
My dad owned a recording studio with 5 other guys.
Right.
And once a year on a Sunday, we got to go down, and my father would press our answers onto a record. So we were making a record, family record. We were having fun. But my old man...
In other words, this would be sent out to your relatives?
No, not at all. It just was something for the family. It was like
so
making...
the only people that would hear this would be your family.
Exactly.
So it should have been light.
But my father feels whenever you're doing something, no matter what it is, it's got to be done in a serious manner.
Serious equipment.
Yeah. This is serious equipment. He's brought us in. And this is our big day of fun with Dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's got you to the point where you're about to wet your pants.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to wet my pants.
And he's now grilling you.
Wait till you see the movie.
It's like a UFO abduction, talking to the green tube.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. You would shake in your pants.
Oh, I can't.
And you know what it's like in front of your sister, in front of your mother, to be called a moron and told not to be stupid?
Oh.
Interrogation.
And then my mother, she's a facilitator. She goes, "What's the matter with you?" That's what she'd say to me. Hey, wait, I think you can even hear her.
To ask the same question of you, do you feel that the United States should remain in the UN?
Yes, because I think it's very important.
Now my sister, no matter what she does, it's fine.
You've already messed up.
Yeah.
And it has been doing a lot of good for the country.
And the world.
Yes.
Let me ask you another question. Now, Howard, I don't want any foolish answers from you, otherwise don't answer. President Kennedy now is going around the country asking the people to vote for Democrats. He wants more Democrats in the House of Representatives.
Oh, I can't take it. I can't hear it anymore. What?
It's like a disaster.
5 years
it's
old.
about to happen.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to hear it.
Oh.
But you're not seeing his face because he gets all red and irritated when I'd answer wrong.
Now, did he have hair at this time?
No. That's what you'd be angry too. You lost your hair at like 19 years old.
Oh, that must have been a long childhood.
That was a real long childhood. When I got out of the house at 18, I bolted out that door and never
I
returned.
bet you danced.
That's why I read these stories about kids today that they all end up living in their parents' house till they're 30. And I go, boy, who would want to live with their parents?
Obviously, they didn't have your parents.
No.
So let me hear the rest of it. I got to hear.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm having some trouble here, okay? Give me a second to rest.
The United States Senate. Do you think that the president is doing a wise thing in going around the country asking the voters to support him by electing Democrats? First, we will hear from Howard.
I'm on Meet the Press. I want Fiverr Schwinkle to play this.
I think he can.
Yes, I do, because if we didn't, let's say, have Democrats, there'd be presidents, vice presidents, and where would the Democrats come in?
Alan Stern.
Yeah, now,
Goofus.
yeah.
Let's go to
You don't know the look. Now I'm trying to answer because I just got yelled at for the Jap discussion.
And he wouldn't even grace it with a comment.
No, not
Never
very good or nothing.
Congratulates you or
Thank
tells
you,
you did a
Goofus.
good job.
Yeah, now I'm gallant.
Thanks for the waste of tape.
Thank you for wasting my tape, Goofus.
Oh, dear.
Now too gallant.
Not too gallant.
I do agree. Well, first of all, I myself
She don't know the English language.
I'm a Democrat.
Yeah, my mother in the background. Like, my mother's such a genius. I'm a Democrat.
You know the answer, Alan.
What a nightmare. What a nightmare
Did
youth
you
is.
always know that you had this tape? I mean, has this been sitting in your possession?
No. I found it, and then I you know what happened? It started getting brittle, and I never listened to it all the way through, so Scott, the engineer, took it in the other room and said, let me make a copy so you don't lose it.
And then
he goes,
you discovered.
and Scott says, you got to hear your father yelling at you. I said, you got that on tape? Because you have to listen to the whole thing.
Priceless.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because you just took it off to hear your voice as a little kid.
Yeah, that's all.
Who would believe it?
Amazing.
And my father, remember my mother, listen, you've been with me a long time. We used to call my mother and say my father yelled at me. She said, your father never yelled at you. And then when I got the tape, my father goes, oh, man, was I a scum.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
heard it himself?
Yeah, he says, I thank God you're fine. He said, I had no idea.
At least he now repents.
And
I think my parents are about to double team me in a second.
There is a moment, I know.
It's
on
coming
the
up,
tape,
I think.
remember it.
Yeah. My mother gets in there. She gets a shot at me, too.
Yeah,
she takes a good punch. Yeah.
A little jab at you.
I I think they are very good. I like their ways.
What you missed here, the point that I was trying to make, is the reason that the President of the United States is asking for more Democrats is that so that they will support his program in Congress by voting for the issues that he's interested in. That is the reason. Now I'll play this back.
No, we don't have that one right now. I have other tapes.
Well, it's just, you got to realize that these are little kids he's asking these questions of, and they don't know what he wants them to say. Okay.
All right, don't make it worse than it is. All right, anyway, so we're back to Five-ish, who should play my father in the movie.
Listen to the resemblance.
Yeah, I don't think he has to put on that accent of his.
I want to thank the great producers, the great cast, the great crew, and also half of it belongs to Ray Walston, who I'm really very indebted. And I want to thank my wife, Judy. We're married 48 years. I want to invite you all to our golden wedding anniversary.
Maybe I couldn't work with this guy. He's getting on my nerves just listening to him. Do I have to talk to him?
That's perfect.
Yeah, do I have to talk to him on the set, or can I just do the scenes with him?
Just the scenes.
He loves
You're
life
the
too
star.
much.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to that party.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be at that
Forget
anniversary party.
I'll get someone else to put. Jackie, shave your head. You can play my father.
Shut up.
I told you not to be stupid, you moron!
I told you not to be stupid, you moron.
Yeah.
Shut up!
What you missed here is that the Democrats have to support the president.
Now, Howard.
Don't play this back.
Now, don't say anything
I
stupid.
want to say thank you to my two sons, Ian and Elliot, for their inspiration. And Trudy, thanks for yours. And thank you, ladies.
It's not that big a deal. It's an Emmy.
He didn't care about any 30-second limit. He was going to say his piece.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Shanley didn't get one. Don't be too excited. They couldn't be voting with a full head.
Gentlemen, oh, wait, my...
God, this guy is a Jew.
It's going on and on.
Feimish, Finkel, and the accent.
Five-ish.
He is Jewish squared.
He couldn't change that name.
No.
My great agent, Monty Silver, God bless him. I don't want to forget him. And the yelling time is up. I want to thank the Academy for this distinguished award and giving me another 50 years. God bless you all.
Wow. That's what everyone's thinking when they get up there. Even though like those guys who act like they don't want an Emmy. Everyone's all excited.
Oh, yeah. Those people who say, really the other people deserve this award more, they're lying.
I'm in an industry where every year I win the Billboard Award. And I'm so embarrassed I don't even go to pick it up. Let's take a break. We'll listen to more tapes of the Emmys and comment.
Coming up, we'll hear Faye Dunaway's tribute. To her touching tribute to Jessica Tandy, who died shortly before the Emmys were broadcast.
Yeah, that was boring. All right, we'll be back right after this. Yeah, what is it? Quickly.
Your father's on the phone.
Oh, yeah?
Does he agree with your casting choice?
I don't know. He's...
Hello?
Wait a sec. Hold on, Dad. Dad, I'm sorry. I couldn't get the phone fast enough. Hi, Dad. How you doing?
Okay, I'm just listening to your show.
Yes.
I think you were about 18 years old when I made that tape.
Yeah. My father wasn't, you see, but I never felt he didn't love me or something. I never did. I never felt that.
I felt all you try to do is keep pulling my chain all the time.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I was having fun. I was a kid.
No, but you always had ways of saying things that you knew you can set me off.
But wait a minute. Let me ask you something. Because listening to the tape, you notice that you don't compliment Howard when he does anything right.
What was there to compliment?
Oh, gee, don't yell at me.
I answered as good as Alan did.
You're goofing around all the time.
But he answered a couple of questions legitimately.
When you're 5 years old, you see, but this is what, my father, this is what happened with my father. My father was raised by a father who behaved like this. And my father decided that that's the kind of father he would be.
Is he like that, Bob?
Like my kids are goofing around. I get into it. I goof around with them. I let them have some fun.
I got to say something to my defense.
Go ahead.
When I do something of a serious nature, I expect you to be serious.
But
was this a day of fun or was this work?
It was supposed to be.
No, it was to do something correct.
No, it was a day of fun. We were at your studio.
When I took movies of you in your room with that Jerry Mahoney, I said to you, let's do it. What you ended up doing, falling on your head on the floor,
right,
and doing all kinds of crazy things. And I said to you, listen, let's do this correctly.
And let me ask you a question now in retrospect.
Yeah.
When we look at the family movies, the one thing that we all love is when I'm there with the Jerry Mahoney puppet, I'm falling because nobody ever did anything in the movies. I'm the only one who did anything.
At the time, it wasn't the correct behavior.
See?
But how come it's
Let me
okay
ask you something.
30 years later?
At this point, when this tape was made, were you still getting laid, or did Mom stop giving it to you?
Well, let's see. That was 19...
That would be 1958 or so. I don't know.
I was finished.
He was done by then.
Howard was 5, yes.
No, Dad, look.
What?
Here's the point. It's not that I didn't feel loved by my father, but my father didn't have a sense of fun. He just never had fun because everything with him is very serious.
I have a tremendous sense of humor.
No, he does. He's a very
But not
funny
with
guy.
Kids. You're not a good kid guy.
No, he's not. He's like, as an adult now, me and him are I don't think I'm closer to any person on the planet than my father.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? My wife, obviously, and my father, and sometimes my mother, if she's not nagging me. You try to get close to my mother, and she gives you a lecture. You know what I mean? But, I mean, my father and I could sit and talk. I mean, he's my only real male friend.
Uh-huh.
One thing I also have to straighten out. You were about 9 years old.
He's a lot of fun for adults.
Ben, it doesn't get any better.
Yeah, all right. So let's say I was 9.
All right, no.
Whatever.
You know, you had knowledge. You knew the answer, but you had a goof on it.
No, but you see, you don't understand something. When you're on mic, you got to do something interesting to entertain.
But not only that, he has school how many days a week?
Right.
This
Lighten
was
up.
supposed to be fun.
Lighten up.
All right.
So you got to lighten up with kids.
Thanks for giving me guilt.
No, but listen, the point is, but with my sister...
Well, she
was complimentary.
Yeah, but, you know...
She wasn't answering with any great acumen.
You did it right. Gave me a very good answer on the United Nations.
Right.
Why did you have to do that little thing at the end?
Because it was getting dull.
But you wouldn't have reacted. You wouldn't have said,
if Ellen did it...
Ellen would never do that in a million years.
Yeah, my sister's really well behaved even to this day.
That's right.
But she didn't have the personality to fool around. That's my personality.
See, I didn't realize it at the time.
You ought to get to know your child.
I didn't know there was a diamond in the rough there.
There you go. Instead of perfecting me and getting me ready for my big career.
That's
He was trying to...
Hey, but maybe, that's, hey, look, let bygones be bygones.
Okay.
And just for that, 5-ish Finkel's going to play in the movie.
Thanks a lot.
Did you hear?
All right, Pop. All right, listen, go beat your wife. Thank you, Pop.
Stop it. Jeez. Let's move on.
That is my father.
With our Emmy tribute.
All right, very good. There he is. An explanation that made no sense. He wasn't serious.
He was about 9.
You had knowledge.
You had the knowledge. You just didn't let it out.
You had a way of pulling my chain.
The purpose was to do something correct.
You had a way of pulling my chain. You had the knowledge, but you just wouldn't come across with it.
This is my dad. This is a classic.
I told you not to be stupid, you moron.
That was directed at me because I was acting like a 5-year-old, and I was 5 years old.
The all-time great and biggest hit. Have you got that?
Shut up! Sit down!
There you go.
Yeah. Shut up and sit down.
Everyone loves that one.
Here's me and my dad, age 7. I was age 7. My dad was much older.
Do you feel that the United States should remain in the United Nations as a member of the United Nations? Howard?
Yes, I really do.
Is there any special reason why you feel that they should?
Well, there should be peace in all the countries, and we wouldn't want any war. Because we don't want the Japs anymore.
I told you not to be stupid, you moron.
You tried to get off the hook. You just said, yes, I really do, Dad. Please let me off the hook.
Well, my father had said, when I interview you, there should be no nonsense on these tapes. and then I did the Jap thing, and he went nuts.
Well, you tried. You really tried to contain yourself.
I did. And then he goes, I told you not to be stupid, you moron. Like, a moron is capable of not being stupid.
You thought he was an anchor.
Yeah. I told you, he thought he was like Walter Cronkite. And my father thinks when that microphone goes on, it should be done in a serious and proper way.
Very serious. This is not a game.
Yeah. That's why when I went into radio and I first started doing my show in college with 3 other guys, and we got fired the first show because we were so goofy, and we were doing offensive bits.
Yeah.
My father freaked out. He goes, when you put on the microphone, this is no way to behave. When I listen to the radio, I don't hear people doing these things.
Oh, dear.
I hear them.
That accent of his.
I don't know.
From?
I think he's from from Anger. He's trying to have like perfect English, but he doesn't. He has a tin ear, so he doesn't.
But he sounds like he's from a foreign country.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like English is his second language.
But he grew up like in the Lower East Side, and
he doesn't speak any other language.
No, and he's trying to be refined.
He's overcompensating.
Yeah, because his parents couldn't speak English, so like he probably had some weird accent. Now he's just starting to.
Yeah, he's still got their accent.
Testing.
How am I doing?
How am I doing?
This is Ben Cameron Swayze.
Howard?
Ben Cameron Swayze.
Hello, Howard. I'd like to ask you a question.
Here's
the pressure. How do you feel about religious services and why children should attend them?
Well, you see, let's say...
You sound like
like Michael J. Fox.
Those two guys who were wandering in Iraq and
Right.
got picked up.
I'm just vamping.
You're being interrogated and you don't know what the answer is.
And I know I'm going to do wrong. You know eventually I'm going to be yelled at.
That's right. You're going to be thrown in jail.
Yeah, my sister won't be yelled at. And then my dad would, like, direct me all the time. Like, you got to listen carefully to this. You know, you go.
Don't shout into the microphone. Talk nice.
Moron.
You moron.
One at a time, do something.
One at a time, do something. He didn't like it when we'd all gangbang into the microphone. Anyway, so I've uncovered some new tapes. This is, I'll play a little. This is cut one. This is a beautiful song done by myself.
And you don't remember what age or...
All I have to do is put it on and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I could kind of approximate, but I think this is me doing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I think I was about 4.
Should I sing? Twang. Not.
See, my mother drove me nuts. She said, yeah.
Stand over here.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah.
You got to listen in the background. Hey, shut up. Hey. And she's just like, she's such a boss. Just shut up. Let me be a kid. That could be nuts. Go ahead. Anyway, here's my dad doing Bear Went Over the Mountain.
Uh-oh.
He's doing it for me. See, my dad would record stuff for me.
And you'd have to listen to this at night? Was this to scare you or put you to sleep?
I don't know. Well, he's into this singing thing, you know. You got to perform.
He thought he had a good voice out there.
I don't know about that. Oh, I know. And he did. He was like Scott the engineer. He would go in and show me that he knew how to produce a piece.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this is highly produced.
Hello, Howard. Hello, Ellen. This is Daddy. I'm going to sing a few songs for you, and I want you to join me while I sing. Now, Howard, this little song is for you. The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain.
What kind of song is this?
To see what he could see. And what do you think he saw? And what do you think he saw?
The musical Stearns.
He saw the other mountain, he saw the other mountain.
Where were you supposed to join in?
No, you...
He says, I would like you to sing along.
And what do you think he saw? He saw the other mountain.
He saw the other mountain.
He saw the other mountain. And what do you think he did? He climbed the other mountain.
Climbed the other mountain. He climbed the other mountain. And what do you think he saw? He saw the other mountain.
John.
Now, wait a second.
What?
BabaBooey didn't put tape between the tracks. It's never done right for me. It's never done right.
Papa Flunky.
I said,
and what do you think he saw? He saw the other mountain.
See, then a little applause.
Oh, you put applause in.
No. Here's Farah Jacques for my sister.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know how my father says Farah Jacques.
Okay, let's see.
I hope you enjoyed that song, Howard. Now for you, Ellen.
You better, I'll kill you.
Here's a song you should enjoy. Rere Jacques, dormez-vous, sonne les matines,
Then my dad gets real sexy with my mom. He sings a song for her, but it's kind of sexy.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, he gets sexy. Right there.
And you said they never did anything.
I think they did.
Dear mother, so...
Right here, right. Ready? It's kind of sexy.
Ding dong doo.
Ding dong doo? That's terrible mixing, by the way.
I know. If he was working for me, I'd fire him. I'd be like, hey, dude, can't you put the applause in while you're talking? Why does it have to come completely after?
I don't want to forget you, dear mother. So.
What's that?
It's a long. I guess it's supposed to be my mother. 'Cause she's a big pain in the ass. She's like a lion. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. While in New York. It's like Dickie Goodman. Baby, 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 baby. In the jungle, meanwhile.
I think we should have this analyzed.
Hey, my old man's riffing.
Baby, 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 baby. And back to that jungle.
What does this mean?
What do you mean, what does it mean?
What is he talking about?
Baby, 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 baby.
Now back to the jungle. And while in New York.
Mother dear.
Dum dum da dum dum.
Sing dum.
Da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum.
Oh, we gotta call him and ask him what the heck he was up to.
He might be hanging from a rope right now. My father says to me, if I knew you would be playing these tapes, I never would have made them.
Baby, baby,
Baby, baby, baby, baby.
Kind of sexy, huh?
Meanwhile.
Back in the jungle.
On the streets of New York.
Here's the alphabet song. You know that song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G? I never heard anybody sing it off key except my father.
And now, don't forget, Howard. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U.
Stern family, always a show off in every bunch.
Z. That's your A, B, C's. Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing from dear old Dad.
Okay? Everyone in my family's in show business. Had enough?
Baby, baby.
I got a lot more.
Baby, baby. I'm never going to get that out of my head. I don't know what that was. And for you, dear mother.
I don't want to forget you, dear mother.
Well, anyway, I've...
some secret code they had.
I'm inspired to play you my special record offer now. Here's my dad yelling at me first.
You didn't have to be stupid, you moron.
It was a funny joke. You know, for a 7-year-old or whatever I was. But listen how nice he is to my sister, even though he's pissed off.
Don't shout into the microphone. Talk nice.
That was me. He's yelling at me there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, one at a time, do something.
Oh, wait. Daddy.
That's my sister.
Daddy.
Daddy. Yeah, great.
Elizabeth and I want to do a song together.
All right, then ready you go.
Announce your song.
The director, my mother. Announce your song. You better do things right or my father will blow his stack.
How you go?
Okay. I don't know what this is. Fairy Jaka. I don't know. Fairy Jaka. Fairy Jaka.
See how they torture me?
Singing.
I don't know, but they just won't be quiet during my song. I don't want to sing Farah Jaka.
Oh, you're such a whiner, though.
I don't want to sing Farah Jaka. I don't know the words. I don't want to sing it. So why torture me?
Ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding.
All right, very good.
And I'll Paul finish now. I'll just sing your own song. Go ahead.
I don't know what to sing.
Sing the Donald Duck. Sing Jolly. Sing Howdy.
I know my old man's getting pissed now.
Would you pick a song?
Sing Jelly Beaner, you moron.
Sing Howdy Doody. What's the matter with you, you moron? Sing Baby Baby.
Sing the Donald Duck. Sing Jolly. Sing Howdy.
Just do it.
Sing Howdy Doody. There's no Howdy Doody.
Sing anything, just sing.
Sing Howdy Doody.
Sing the phone book.
What are we, the What is this?
It sounds like request hours.
Yeah, I mean, what is
Screaming
this?
up requests.
Yeah, mellow out.
Little white duck, little white duck.
Yeah, I gotta sing. We're the Von Trapp family. I gotta sing.
I'm a little one. I don't want to do the rest. Little white duck. I don't know the rest.
What is wrong with you?
Start it. I want to sing Johnny Bean. Oh, sing Come on.
No wonder my old man hated me.
Yeah, a mess. Why are you out of sorts?
No, you're not singing.
I'm all vermished.
What is wrong?
Because I'm trying to sing by myself and choose a selection, and my mother just won't shut up in the background. It's like, I want to sing myself, okay? I don't need her to start me off. Every minute she's helping. It's Jelly Bean. I know that. Let me sing. Well, let me get into it. God damn it. What is this? It's a train wreck, my family.
No, you're not singing. Jelly Bean. No, you're not.
She won't shut up. The woman will not shut up. Do you see what I'm talking about? She's got to go. As soon as I start Jelly Beaner, she's got to start Jelly Beaner. I finally choose a selection. Now she won't keep her mouth shut.
Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean. No, you're not singing. Jelly Bean. No, you're not.
Won't shut up.
Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean.
Ah,
Jelly
thank you.
Bean. I wanna know.
Very good.
Very good.
Oh, geez. Oh, man. I'm going to sing to Robin now. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Meanwhile, in the jungle... Baby, 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 in Manhattan. Meanwhile, on the train tracks, baby, baby, that's all right with you, baby, baby. Meanwhile, in the jungle, meanwhile, in the bowling alley. I said, meanwhile, in the bowling alley.
I think you're supposed to do some da-da-da-dum.
Da-da-da-dum. Da-na-na-na. Meanwhile, in the bowling alley.
I don't have the bowling alley.
Baby, 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 baby. Back to that jungle. Meanwhile, at Jackie's house. Meanwhile, at the bowling alley. Baby, baby, da, 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 da. Meanwhile, at Jackie's house. Na, 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 na. That's for you, Robin. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. What was going through my old man's head?
I don't know.
Now, don't forget, Howard.
He's trying to do a musical song.
A-B-C-D-E-F.
An instrumental.
More Stern Family tapes uncovered.
Da-da-da-dum.
Da-da-da-dum.
And then when he was singing Frere Jacques, he ended it Ding Dong Do.
Yeah. Hey, don't make fun of my old man. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, I think I got those two disc jockeys on the phone.
Okay.
They're anxious to get on the air.
The word nigger 27 times. That didn't sound like that kind of a tape to me.
That isn't even that bad. Did you hear what other word he used?
What?
Listen to this. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum.
And somehow
Nigga, they didn't mind compared to that.
yesterday he came up with a spokesperson, and it was a person we have seen before, Anthony Pellicano, the man who...
I mean, it's not that I don't buy it. I don't think he's on trial.
Let me go on.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't think the guy's on trial.
Forget about that. Everybody's interested in hearing these tapes and what's on them and what the explanation is for them.
I'm sorry, did I say something irrelevant?
Yes.
Oh,
so
thank
anyway.
you. Thanks for letting me know that. Yeah, go ahead.
So Anyway.
But in New York?
But in New York.
It can be so come on, pretty baby, just you and me.
Meanwhile, back in the jungle.
What kind of song is that?
The boys and
Your father missed the entire gist of the record.
when something heavy hit me like an atomic bomb.
The tone-deaf Stern
When I
family.
woke up and my
When I woke up, are these black guys?
I had a strange
I hope
feeling
so.
I was with
I hope so.
Yeah. I smelled something cooking and I
Look
looked
at
to
that.
see. That's when I found out they was cooking me.
Cooking me.
Oh, I see. They were in the jungle.
Yes, but I now remember this song. I didn't know what your father was doing.
And meanwhile, back in the States.
And now, don't forget, Howard. A, B, C.
He's amazing. Well, there it is.
I'm glad we got that straightened out.
Baby, 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 baby. And back to that jungle.
No story whatsoever.
No.
Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum.
And applauding himself.
Yeah.
And now, don't forget, Howard. A, B, C.
Once again, Howard's
We were just talking about shop teachers in here. Every shop teacher I ever had, and Fafafui ever had, and all the guys in here ever had, all were missing digits.
Really?
Yeah, they were always missing a chunk of their finger.
Well, that was a good ad.
Yeah. And then they would tell you, go work the lathe. You never had to take shop, right?
No.
I assume, because girls didn't
I
have
went
to
to
take
an
it.
all-girls school, number one. We didn't have a shop.
I don't know why guys only have to take shop, because shop is the most sadistic class in your school. I had a shop teacher that used to, I mean, it was bad enough I was in Roosevelt, and it was an all-black school, and the black kids were hostile to me. And I don't know
Well,
that...
I guess they did have that in junior high school, too, yeah.
Yeah. But this guy used to stand there and throw erasers at us. Like big, giant erasers, and just chuck them at our heads.
For what reason?
Well, the kids were really out of control. I had kids in my shop class. I mean, when I was in 9th grade, these guys were 18, 19 years old. I'm being
They
serious.
should have been working.
Yeah, they should have been. These were guys with full facial hair and, full genitals.
They should have had jobs.
Yeah, and they would pull their pants down in the middle of class and fondle their genitals.
Check this out. You do that here. So.
Yeah, well, but this is my job.
Yeah. You know, in high school, I didn't take shop classes, but the shop teacher in our high school was like notorious. He called black guys spear chuckers.
Really?
To their faces in front of the other class.
He wouldn't have done that in Roosevelt.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, he was on a practically all-white school. With
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't?
Really?
And everybody loved him, including them, but he was out of control.
Everybody loved him.
They did. I swear to God.
The black kids loved him.
Jackie again, right on target. Like that.
How many? Was he missing a finger? Mine was missing
No,
a
he
finger.
was missing his arms. They got him.
No, really, seriously, was yours missing a finger?
Well, he wasn't missing a finger, but he had a thing where he had cut his middle finger on the table saw, and it had grown back in a weird way, so he could stick a quarter in it and put his hand upside down and shake it around, and the quarter wouldn't fall out.
Oh, he had a groove in his
He had a groove
hand.
in his finger.
Our guy in grammar school had half a pinky.
I was always shocked that they want you working a lathe and stuff. I mean, you can really lose fingers and hands and stuff.
But, you're absolutely right. Shop class was dangerous, and you know why? Because it was a big spread-out room, and the machinery made it hard for the teacher to hear. Like, if you're getting your ass kicked in the back, there's a table saw going on.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a real class where you sat at a desk. You actually moved around. So as soon as you're moving around, kids think they can just beat everyone up. Because I got choked. In Roosevelt, there was this big black guy named Irvin. Not Irving, Irvin.
Yeah.
I-R-V.
Well, Magic Johnson's name is Irvin.
Yeah, I had never heard that name in my life, and this guy's name was Irvin. And I can't imagine that there's like two guys with that name. Irvin. What?
Irvin.
Yeah, it was E-R-V-I-N, actually.
E-A.
Yeah.
Irvin.
And this guy Irvin used to beat me up all the time in Roosevelt. He used to beat up me and a guy named Carlos. I remember it. And Carlos was white, even though he had a Spanish name.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know he beat up Carlos. I only found out after I had my mom report Irvin to the dean of boys. And then Irvin came and said, you reported me. He had to figure out if it was me or Carlos who had reported him.
Right.
So he shook us down because he shook us down for money every day. And I hope he's in jail now, but he took me.
Because he could come after you.
Yeah, right. And and this guy Irvin was about 6'3".
How
he
tall
had
were you
full.
then?
I was probably about 9th grade. I was probably about 5'7". I don't know. I wasn't that big.
You weren't tall yet.
Yeah, it was not the tall, gawky Howard Stern you know today and love. So this guy comes and he says he had to figure out which one of us. Now it was my mom who reported him. Because I said to my mother, I can't take it.
He's still sitting there trying to figure it out.
So he took me. He grabbed me from behind and started choking me. This is the guy.
Yeah.
And he starts choking me and he goes, okay, in about a minute, you going to pass out from lack of oxygen. And
you better tell me.
So you tell me, man, did you report me to Mr. Heck? So I was just
say that.
Yeah, he wasn't even like, you going to be dead. He would just say, you going to be dead. So he started choking.
Scientific reason why.
Yeah. So he was explaining science. Well, I was learning science in the class. So anyway, he starts squeezing my neck and like right around by the Adam's apple stuff, he's just squeezing it. And I'm and I'm trying to like just your reaction is to grab from behind, but
that doesn't do a thing.
Doesn't matter. I'm blacking out. I'm starting to black out. I'm losing consciousness. And he goes, did you? I'm asking you one last time. Was that your mama who called me Mr. Egg? So I go, no, I swear it was. I don't even know what you're talking about. Thank God, because I almost confessed.
Bad move.
Yeah, but I didn't. And then he lets go and he goes, now I know who done it. Carlos.
Oh, so
and he pummeled the crap.
Got the other guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, that guy Carlos, and I never saw him in school again.
Oh,
never. He got his ass beat. He must have confessed, even though he didn't do it. I didn't hear about a funeral, so I think he's alive. But this guy Carlos.
Yeah, why would you confess? The guy's already said he's going to kill you if you're the person.
And he would have killed me.
And why would you say yes? Obviously, you're not going to say yes.
You don't know what to do.
That's a bad scene, man. I got beat up.
And mind you, this is going on in a shop class with the guy watching. The shop teacher was watching. Was watching. Saw the whole thing. Saw the whole thing.
The whole class was watching?
He was a scared white man. And I don't blame him.
The whole class was watching, though?
Well, I was in the back. No, a lot of the class doesn't pay attention. You got to understand something. There's constant fighting going on in these classes. There's no way for me to describe what Roosevelt, Long Island is like. It's just constant warfare. There are guys in corners smoking pot, life. I mean, I was in 9th grade. I'd never even heard of pot.
What would you rather do?
No, I swear, this was a guy. There was a guy who came in. I don't know his name.
And nobody.
He looked a lot like Flava Flav. He was kind of like a jokey kind of guy.
Yeah.
But you could tell he could beat the crap out of anyone. Mm-hmm. And the guy comes into the class and pulls his pants down because this guy was huge. I never
hear about people dying at Roosevelt High School.
Oh, people die.
But they don't
read about it in the paper. You read Newsday. You could take the last year's worth of Newsday, count up the dead people. What are you talking about?
There's a lot that goes on there, Robert. There's a lot.
It's real bad.
That's so sad.
It's so common
It's so
now.
common.
It's like, that it doesn't get reported.
No, it doesn't even get on.
It's a little box.
Like on Newsday, it's not even on the regular page. It's like, exactly, it's like a lot of little boxes. In Roosevelt, the man was
I read it every day. I read it every day because I'm on the lookout for it. I love to read about it.
You like to read about your old schoolmates.
Yeah, I like to see if I know anybody. I like to see if it's Wine Dance. Wine Dance is another really bad black neighborhood. Yeah. And, I like to see where more murders are committed and all that kind of stuff.
Believe me, Robin, the headline would be if nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly. You would see like, wow, today nothing happened in Roosevelt.
Nothing happened in Roosevelt.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's a Newsday. It's a local Long Island occurrence.
Yeah.
And everyone just ignores it and hopes it goes away.
I mean, why wouldn't you close that school down? Why wouldn't you get Joe Green? Why wouldn't you do something?
No, they should declare. Oh, they should. You mean Joe Clark?
Joe Clark.
They should get Mean Joe Green and Joe Clark to go in there and take care of the whole damn town.
Really? Just get a couple of baseball bats and clean up.
We should declare it a foreign country like Haiti.
And then invade.
And civilize it. It is out of control. It is not a civilized. It is not a civilized area.
That is sad.
Have you been looking through your mail lately?
Yeah, I got a letter from a woman from Roosevelt who told me not to make fun of it.
Well, did you see the other letter you got?
No.
They wanted you to come and help them reopen the library. In Roosevelt,
Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
And cut the ribbon?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. No one goes to that library.
Well, no, they put a lot of money into it now.
Good.
Oh, come on, Howard.
Oh.
Howard, you gotta go.
No, and number
Come
2, no
on.
way.
Oh,
Let me tell you something,
Howard.
Robin. I made a vow when my parents
you'd
finally
never
took
go
out in ninth
back.
grade that I would never go back.
Me, I want to see.
You're safe there, not me.
Oh, I am?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They didn't beat up black people at Roosevelt.
All they're
Who are
going to
they
do is
killing
pull your
now?
pants down and have some sex with you.
Right, that's exactly
Big
what
deal.
I want to have
You'll probably
happen.
love it.
Yes, yeah, sure. Come on, take me back.
And why did they have to close the library down in the first place?
Needed some refurbishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have any books.
Fire.
Yeah. And all the stores are burned down. Either the owners burned them down because they can't make a go of it.
Does Hempstead Avenue run through there?
No, it's called Nassau Road.
What is that? What does Hempstead Avenue run through?
Hempstead used
Is
to...
that bad too?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Because I
But
noticed
Hempstead...
a lot of boarded up stuff there.
But Hempstead's a party. I call Hempstead Africa. Hempstead Africa is a party next to Roosevelt.
Really?
Hempstead is like a nice place compared to
Hempstead
Roosevelt.
still has businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they'll be gone
But it
soon.
still looks kind of...
But Howard's right, because on Nassau Road, there's like all boarded up movie theaters, and there used to be an A&P.
There was this A&P, and every week it burned down. Someone would buy it and not make a go of it and burn down. So now there's like no supermarket.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know where the black people shop. They must have to go into Uniondale or something.
Right,
Where do the black people shop?
Right on Nassau Road, right on the Uniondale Roosevelt border, they just built this whole new complex.
Oh, really?
You know, it's brand new, but you could tell
It's
gonna be a
already
mess.
getting a little wear and tear.
And wait till they used to have a place called the Roosevelt Diner, which was really cool. I used to go there and get French fries in a bag and pour ketchup. And it was just like a really cool place to hang out. And then then
That
like
went too.
all the windows started getting blown out, and it was like being in Beirut. And my parents living there.
They didn't know?
They didn't know. Everything's fine. My father, I paid $14,000 for this house. It's almost paid off. I got to move to somewhere like Rockville Center, pay $50,000 for a house. What are you, crazy? Shut up, you moron.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild, but there's this place, there's Nassau Road. That's where the big town is. But
Yeah.
And then I told you the movie theater. I used to go to the movies every Saturday at the Roosevelt movie theater.
Right.
So one day I'm there, and I thought a milk dud flew by my head. It was a bullet. The kids were shooting bullets
Stop it. How old
through
were
the
you
screen.
then?
I was about 7th grade.
They were ahead of their time.
Yeah. So they shot up the screen, and what it is, screens are really expensive. You don't realize what a movie theater screen is. That's their biggest expense. It's evidently, it's got to be hung the right way, and it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's what is it? Silver Flakes?
I think it's Silver Flakes.
Yeah.
That's what makes it Silver
So they finally said to everyone, they made an announcement, look, we're going to have to close down the movie theater if the kids keep shooting the screen.
And they said, we'll close it down.
And, they did.
Yeah.
They replaced the screen about 100 times and they gave up.
Does the screen have like holes in it and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, you'd be sitting there watching.
You could miss whole thing,
and
whole scene.
Yeah, a guy's head would be blown off. I mean, it was just unbelievable. But at least they were shooting the screen and not the people. Back then, everyone was a little more
Yeah, they
mellow.
were pointing that away instead of
Yeah.
this away.
A lot of times it was BB guns and stuff, but who cared? I mean, it was guns.
When I was in college.
And the kids loved the movies. They loved the movies. Blacks love movies.
Then why would they shoot up the screen?
They get excited. They start to, I don't know, they get so, you would not see what was going on in there.
They used to throw chocolate at the screen where I'm from.
Yeah, a lot of the kids couldn't sit through the movie. They would get crazy and have to fire off some guns. This is in 7th grade, and I was in 7th grade, 100 years ago.
The truth of it is, I think I remember throwing candy at the screen, and I can't remember why. And I guess shooting at the screen is just like the next logical.
Well, I don't know. That's a big leap. Big retard. Jackie throwing chocolate at the screen.
No, jujubes.
Yeah. Jackie, you might be black.
Oh, that's a black thing. It's not a stupid thing. It's a black thing.
Dig that.
So anyway, it was pretty wild being the one white kid in that. Actually, there were about 4.
You were the one white.
There were 4
Stop
white
making
kids.
yourself out to be
No, you're
more
right.
of a hero than you are.
There were 4 white kids, I confess.
And the shop teacher.
It was me and a guy named Mark
Yeah.
and Dennis Accavelli.
And how long were you there really when
And
it
one
was down
Pollock.
to that many whites? How many years were you there when it was only...
So down to 4 whites 1 year. That was the year that I had to get out.
See?
Oh, excuse me. The previous 2 years, I was one of 20. Yeah, it wasn't much better. I I told you about the time they offered, all the blacks went crazy and wanted black studies.
Yeah.
So I signed up for it, thinking like maybe they'll take it easy on me if I'm racially sensitive.
Yes.
And we get in there, it was all 5 white kids had signed up for the class, and there wasn't one black guy taking black studies.
The same strategy?
Yeah, they all had the same strategy. It was a bunch of, and they canceled black studies. That was the end of it.
Maybe I'll learn their habits.
Yeah. I just thought it would be kind of cool, you know, like maybe everyone would mellow out if they saw that I was racially sensitive, which I was anyway because I was living there.
Hi, give
No,
me
you weren't
5.
racially
I didn't have to be living there.
sensitive.
No,
Your
I was.
parents stuck you there.
Be quiet.
You
Yo,
Mr.
homely.
Racially sensitive.
I didn't talk like that, yo, blood. I talked like a black guy. I don't, hey, man, come on, Irvin, don't do that to me, man. That's how I talked for 3 years.
That's why they beat you.
They hate that more than anything.
No, they don't. Everybody talks, they talk like that, and they're not from the South.
So you were the original wigger?
Yep.
Hey, man, see you temple.
No,
I
he
was such a
wasn't.
wigger.
He didn't
Wrong.
dress the way they did.
I was such a
'cause
wigger.
His parents wouldn't let him.
I was such a wigger that, I mean, I handed down, you know, I can't even do it no more. Man, come on, man, I didn't tell him a thing about you.
If
And it was
he
just
had
like,
ever done it, he'd be able to do it.
I swear, come on. Well, in fact, when you first met me, you remember how good a black impression I used to do? It's like wearing off now. I was the wigger. And you went to Uniondale, didn't you start talking black?
Well, you do.
I had it just out of self-defense
Only
because
when you're
everyone
around
took
black guys, you start talking because you feel like, you know,
like
they like you.
I was in a class and the teacher couldn't calm the kids down, so she said, "We're gonna have music."
It's like going to France. You speak French.
Right. She said, "You're gonna have music appreciation day because none of the kids could calm down in class. Everyone bring in their favorite record." So stupid asked me. All the kids had brought in like Motown, you know, Diana Ross and
Otis
Temptations,
Redding
Otis
and
Redding,
Wilson Pickett.
yeah, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
I get in there. I just discovered Sgt. Pepper's that summer. And I get up and I go,
Right. Obviously, it
I'm
can't.
like, well, man, I found this really here good record, you know, and they talk like this, and I said, this is a really good record, and this here Sgt. Pepper Lonely Heart Club Band, and you had to stand up in front of the class and put it.
Put the needle on.
Yeah, meanwhile your hand is shaking. You put your hand on on the record. You can't even cue up the damn record. And then I start playing, you know, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart. I thought they were going to kill me. Everyone started booing. And then I learned that I bring in, like, Motown, which I did. Hey, man, I really did, because I felt self-conscious bringing in a Motown record. I really wasn't into Motown. I was into the Beatles.
And it might seem patronizing.
Yeah, right. So I was
Why
sensitive
couldn't you
to that.
stand up there and stand up for what you believe?
Oh.
This was the music you liked.
Man, I discovered the Beatles, and you had to talk like this, you know.
Oh, stop
No, that's
it.
how you talk, man. That's how you talk, like this.
They were beating you anyway. You might as well talk like a
Yeah,
white
but you
person.
try to fit in. Like, even in class, when the teacher would call on you, it was cool to be, like, really stupid.
Oh.
Because if you acted like you knew the answer, all the kids would goof on you. So I'd be like, hey, man, I don't know what that is. That's how you got to talk like that. You have to talk
Say
stupid.
what?
Yeah, say what, man? No one said say what back then, though. That wasn't the expression.
Oh, that was
No.
before.
That was Jackie's expression.
Yeah. Say what? But it was weird. It was weird. And I remember, like, when I'd see white kids, I'd talk white, and then I would talk black when I was in school. Hey, man. Hey, man, how you doing? How you doing, man? Hey, Irvin, come on, man. Come on, man. I gotta eat my lunch, too.
How come we can't find this Irvin? You know, we've looked for him a number of times.
I know. I don't know his last name.
You are lying, I think. I mean,
Why would I lie to you? How could you make that up?
Because you read it in a book, just like that Vietnam stuff.
There's a lot of guys. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
No. This is my personal Vietnam. There's another guy who beat me up, but I don't know if I want to say his full name. His name is Ronald, but have I said his full name?
No, I think you're talking about Zany.
No, Zany Evans never beat me up.
Oh, no.
He was just wild. There was a guy who used to beat me up named Ronald Nipper. I guess it's okay to say his name. Yeah, why not? He
Yeah,
used
what
to
are
beat me
you
up.
doing? If he beat you up, he beats
I
you
just
up.
don't really want to run into him again. He used to beat me up a lot.
We can't find these people.
Did I ever tell you
He's the
that?
guy who used to steal my salad. Like if I got by him by lunch money, he'd come over and just take his hand.
But wouldn't you like to ask them what the hell they were beating on you for?
I know why they were beating on me. They just
But I mean, just to hear them say it, you know,
Yeah.
what
Oh,
was
yeah.
it?
Well,
Why'd
find
you pick on me?
Well, why don't you go undercover and find these guys?
Did I ever tell you that I got beat up in 9th grade so bad that I had to get stitches and I got beat up in front of the entire school? Look,
The teachers too?
Yeah, it was at an assembly.
Oh,
I got
Right.
beat up at an assembly. So the whole school was assembled.
And did the teacher stop it?
Yeah, I bled all over. I almost got my nose broken. I ended up getting 5 stitches over my eye, but I bled all over.
Black guys?
one black guy.
Right.
I ended up bleeding.
Oh, Jesus.
I ended up. You know what he did? I ended up bleeding.
Black guys can fight, man. Oh, can they fight? God bless them.
Black guy was like a gang on Gary.
It is, though. You know what? Listen, I fought a lot of black guys. And when I say I fought, I hardly put up a fight.
It's not like you're a great boxer or anything, though.
These guys were like professional boxers. They could move so fast. I used to see guys coming at me like this. I swear to God, they'd come up and they were so wiry and everything. They'd just go, pow, pow, pow. Just all of a sudden, it would be like, whoa, I just took 3 hits to the head.
He's right there. They were all Sugar Ray Leonard.
And you know, and they didn't. They fought each other, and then they'd get a hold of you and fight you.
Robin, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was, you know, those.
You look like I don't know black people.
You know, we have to teach you.
You know those lunchroom tables that come out of the wall?
Yes.
So what happened when you got beat up?
Okay, you know those lunchroom tables that come out of the wall?
Yeah.
I was sitting at one of those, and the guy that beat me up had been in the school for a week. He came from the city or from Queens or somewhere.
Yeah.
He was new to the school. So we were watching this movie in assembly, and I'm tapping my pen, and he said, you know, hey, stop tapping your pen.
Stop tapping your pen, man.
And I said, you know, I ignored him, and then he called me a name, and I called him a name, and he called me a name. And then,
you fought back.
No.
You said names back. You're a jackass. You never say anything back.
So that was like it, right? So then I just put my head down. We're watching the movie, so I put my head down.
Kick your ass.
And he came up from behind. I was in one of those things you couldn't get out of.
Yeah.
So he started punching me from behind, and then he took my head. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. He took my head and he started smashing it against one of those lunchroom tables.
Oh, man.
So I ended up getting stitches in the eye, but my
Let me ask you something. Like, and what happens to the kid who does this? Nothing, right?
We both got suspended for 2 days.
You got suspended.
For you
know why? Because they were afraid to suspend the black guy without suspending the white guy.
I never threw a punch because I just never got out of the chair. You know what I mean?
And they suspended you.
But what they did is...
You know, nowadays, parents are smart. They just sue the damn family. They sue the school. They sue everybody.
I'll tell you what happened.
I could have been a millionaire.
The principal of the school came over to my house.
For the amount of beatings I took, I could have sued Roosevelt.
Where were they going to get the money?
Roosevelt's public schools.
You'd have been owed the money.
Well, I could have been owed money at least. I would have theoretically on paper been a millionaire.
The principal of the school came over to my house and said, you're not suspended, but we'd like it if you stayed home for 2 or 3 days because we don't want a race riot. That's what he said. It was
to make it look good.
Because it was like the school was like 50-50. They didn't want to turn it into a whole thing.
Yeah.
But
God forbid common sense should rule.
The music teacher, the music teacher is the one who ended up getting over there. And my nose was like bleeding like crazy. I thought it was broken. And I bled all over this guy's suit. I mean, people said, like, I don't remember.
Were you I was
drunk? I was dizzy, but they said there was blood. The janitor yelled at me when I came back.
See, I would have taken that guy. I would have taken that guy. If it was, if I was the governor, I'd have him executed because he is worthless.
But he was one of those guys that was like, he was so much bigger than ninth graders.
Go to school with him every day.
Well, my eye.
That's why schools suck.
My eye closed and changed colors like in Rocky. It was like purple one day and then yellow. It literally closed. And I had to go back to school with one eye.
And I'll tell you something. That's why I said to my mother, how the hell can you be doing this to me? Are you out of your friggin' bird? Why you put me through hell?
What did your parents do when you came home?
Well, his parents had no money.
No. We ended up. My mother was freaking out because she had to come to get me at the school so she could bring me at the hospital because the school doesn't want to start stitching you up or anything. They don't want to be responsible. So they said, come and get your kid really quick and take him to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and I got stitches. And then myself and my father and the other guy and his father had a meeting with the principal. And the other guy's father was very belligerent and very,
What you say, my son?
He was angry at me because,
hey, man, he started.
So it was
you can't argue with that logic. What is it, Stuttering John? What are you waiting for?
Oh, we got a black one on the phone who's upset with you promoting racism.
Oh, I'm promoting racism. Hey, I live this.
She got to that point.
Darling, how did you get to that point that I'm promoting racism?
Hello?
Yeah.
Howard, listen, I listen to you. I'm your biggest fan, but
no, you're not.
You really need to stop. You really
do.
Because,
please.
No, first of all, wait. What was that statement that somebody talks black and talks white? And then you're doing...
You don't know what that means?
No,
You've never heard that before?
Amos and Andy impression.
Hey, that's how I talked in Roosevelt.
No. I have a brother who just graduated Cornell Law. He does not talk black,
he doesn't, but go to Roosevelt. Everyone talks that way.
No. See, that's an economic and a cultural thing. Just because you and Boy Gary were raised in poor neighborhoods, and that's truly the root of your problem, does not mean there are blacks out there who don't
Darling, I am sure there are, but I didn't grow up with them.
Well, that is it's an economic...
When I lived in Roosevelt, I had to talk that way. That's the way everyone talks.
He didn't have to talk that way. That's the way he chose to talk.
That's the way you chose to talk because that's the way you had to survive. But believe me, I'm sure that there were blacks who held their head high and who could afford to get out of that neighborhood, even though your parents couldn't.
Tell me something I don't know. Oh, you're so silly.
But you...
Oh, I'm not going to listen to that. She just interrupted a great conversation with a dumb comment.
So Anyway, the end of the story was I stayed home from school for 3 days.
It's like Oprah. You see Oprah on her TV show? She gets an all-black audience there right away. She's like, honey child.
Girlfriend.
Let's look at Dionne Warwick. Girlfriend. All of a sudden, when she's on that stupid show, that psychic show, she should be in jail for that show. That's got to be illegal.
Hey, she's not putting a gun to anybody's head.
They should lock her up. You know, man, you're taking advantage of dopes. Honey, I just got a prediction. My next album gonna go gold.
Oh, how was the reading?
But every time I see that Psychic Friends Network, I draw bars on my set. Pretend what it'd be like to see Dionne Warwick behind bars. That the FCC don't look into.
Well, you know, she's moving to Brazil, I hear.
Good.
With all the money, I guess she wants.
Yeah.
Why, they don't have extradition laws?
Yeah. I guess it's not illegal to get into psychic readings.
$3.99 a minute.
We ought to take a break and do the news.
Look at that mess.
Do you want to talk to the guy that you went to high school with, that guy Dennis? And he remembers Irvin and remembers his last name and remembers how big he was and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, verification.
Well, actually, it's just funny because Irvin had a very funny last name.
Yeah, but I don't know if you want to announce his name on the air.
Why not?
Because you don't want to.
All right.
It's just a funny name.
Hey, Dennis, don't announce Irvin's name, but...
Who is Dennis?
Dennis Accavelli was the one white guy I told you that we left.
Okay.
He graduated.
How you doing?
Yeah, his parents were real poor.
You left him there.
Dennis is a nice guy. I don't know why we didn't hang out more, try to... Yeah, I don't know. Dennis was very bright in school, very intelligent.
So he couldn't hang around with you?
I don't know, but he never hung around. Even though we were one of the few white people left, it was very funny what happened to the white people.
I thought you were like the valedictorian of this school.
But Dennis would have been.
No. Well, you know, it wasn't safe to walk from my house to Howard's house.
It wasn't?
No.
No, it really wasn't, because Dennis lived on the other side of town.
You two were in pockets.
Roosevelt was only 1 square mile where I grew up, but if you walked, he would have to walk 7 or 8 blocks. No more, maybe 15 blocks.
Because it was a white neighborhood.
It was a white
overnight,
literally.
hoodlums moved in?
Yeah, well, what happened was a couple of black families moved in. And what it is, the realtors would decide what neighborhoods would get black families.
Yeah, they target.
Yeah, so a couple of black people moved in, and everyone panicked. Everyone said, well, wait a second. If black people move next door to me, I better sell my house quick. So everyone started selling to blacks. And overnight, I mean, literally, it was like you could knock on someone's door and they would move out in the middle of the night.
You're telling me these people were homeowners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Oh, you mean the people who moved in? No. Let me tell you what happened.
They got assistance,
They got assistance, and 5 families would move into one house. It would be welfare. Because everyone would go, your mama's on welfare.
You
and they
were
go, yeah.
living in the projects.
Yeah, this was worse than projects. Because there were 5 families.
Level projects.
Dennis, I don't know if you ever saw this, but one time there was a bunch of kids playing baseball. There was 9 guys on each side, on each team. Someone yells out dinner. Every kid, 18 kids piled into one house. And these are little houses.
Went to a house.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard, I played football with Ronald Nipper.
Did you?
Yeah. He was our halfback for Roosevelt.
So you were a pretty big guy then.
Well, I don't know, it wasn't that big. But
no, Dennis isn't that big.
Yeah.
But Dennis...
Did you get beat up all the time?
I didn't get beat up that much, no. Although I did, when Howard was talking about guys being fast, my mother made me go to school the day after Martin Luther King was shot.
Yeah, me too.
I was walking down the hall, and all of a sudden, some guy just comes by and just, hits me in the eye, and I didn't even know it. It happened so fast.
Yeah, we were the bad whites for living in Roosevelt. I told the guys, I used to pray. There was an all-white town next to Roosevelt called Merrick.
Right.
Lily White. I said, boy, black people are always screaming, why don't white men live with the black man? Why is the white man afraid of black skin? I said, me and Dennis, the only 2 guys living with black people, they're beating the crap out of us. Why can't they all get together, go over to Merrick and beat up all the whiteys over there who moved away from them? I used to fantasize. I never understood it. But listen, these were just dopey kids.
That would have shown them that they were wrong to move.
Right. Yeah, why would you beat up the one white guy who's willing to live with you? Yeah, my mom...
Why didn't you get beat up as much as Howard? That's what I got to know.
I don't know. Like I said, I played football and...
See, you know how to handle yourself.
Yeah.
There was something about Howard.
People do like to beat... Even white people like to beat me up.
You either had to be crazy or know crazy people.
Right.
And I think some people... I knew some crazy people, so people stay away from you.
Dennis, though, you got to see Dennis. Dennis is one of those guys, doesn't look like you should mess around with him. It's not that he's tough looking or anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Howard. You sort of had this indication that you were easy pickings.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know either.
But I had guys taking full giant metal baskets and throwing them at my shoulders and head.
That you were going to hurt them back.
Hey, Howard, I also remember shop class. That was wild. Do you remember the shop teacher's name?
What was his name?
Mr. Anthony.
Yeah, Mr. Anthony.
Yeah.
That's the guy who stood by while I got my ass kicked.
Where is Mr. Anthony?
Also,
We should call him up for that.
The keys to the bathroom on this big wooden block.
And he'd throw it at you.
Yeah, he used to throw it like you would be
throw it at your head.
Oh, well, he was vicious too.
At your head, and people would get hit. And no one would report them to their to their mothers. And
it was different. You know what? Because that wasn't so bad getting hit by your shop teacher when you're getting beat up by black guys.
He also used to walk around, with that T-square.
Yep.
He used to walk around with the T-square, and if he'd come up from behind you, and if you would
smack you,
and he'd whack you with it.
Yeah.
So he did control the class.
Oh well, not really.
He was just doing that because he was sadistic, I think.
Well, he should work at the vault.
You have a place for him.
Your mom's made you go to school too after Martin Luther King was shot. My mother too. I said to my mother, well, maybe I ought to stay home.
You didn't shoot him.
Oh man. My mother's black friends were calling her saying, Ray, leave Howard home today. Let it rest for a couple of days. My mother goes, I'm not afraid. I go, oh, she's not afraid. Isn't that brave of her?
She's not going.
She's not going to school. She's going to sit in the house. My mom is sending me, the day after Martin Luther King got shot, every black guy is ready to kill any white thing he sees.
Yeah, the school was in an uproar. It was like crazy.
I don't know about you, man, but I took my ass right out of school at 3 o'clock and ran.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But did you get hit that day? You said you got beat up.
Did I get beat up that day? I don't think I got beat up that day. It might have been a day later. Dennis took the beating that day in the eye.
It wasn't safe. For the next 2 weeks, it really wasn't safe.
Wasn't there a math teacher too that got stabbed? Do you remember that? The math teacher who got stabbed in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Lots a lot of fun stuff. Great community.
What do you do now, Dennis?
I'm a computer consultant.
He's a real smart guy.
See, you could get a good education there.
Me and him. He was one of those guys who was always in the smartest class, even when it was all white, because we grew up together. We were at the school when it was all white.
Yeah.
And I remember he was in Mrs. Lazar's 6th grade class, which was considered the genius class, and they accidentally put me in it. I don't know. Remember I got in your class?
Yeah.
Remember I didn't know anything? And I just sit there and cheat off you?
Oh, dear.
And one time, I used to sit behind Dennis Accavelli. And one time, I made a joke about Dunkin' Donuts, and I started schnotting through my nose. Do you remember this, Dennis?
Sure.
And the schnot was running out of my nose so bad that Mrs. Lazar came over and stood me up in front of the class with schnot dripping out of my nose. He goes, Mr. Stern is in need of a tissue. He obviously finds something funny. Do you remember this, Dennis?
Yeah.
He's got to, because it was a highlight of my life. Big wads of schnot just dripping out of my nose.
Man.
Oh, man.
That was funny.
Had to wipe on Dennis's shirt. No, but the teacher, this was such a smart class. What happened was, in 5th grade, I really got into reading.
This was the smart class you did this in, huh?
In 5th grade, I really got into reading.
Mm-hmm.
I had really discovered the joy of reading. And when I discovered the joy of something, I get into it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'm on to the next thing.
It's just like your new thing.
So I read so much.
Yes.
That they tested. It was it just coincided with the time they tested you. They test you once a year. And my reading score shot through the roof, like a comprehension, all that stuff. So they said, this kid is so bright. Even though he doesn't do well in school, we're putting him in Mrs. Lazar's class.
Uh-huh.
And that was a big accomplishment to be in.
Yeah, I mean, and people were angry that I was in Mrs. Lazar's class because I didn't belong in there. I knew I didn't belong in there. And you were all on the honor system. She'd even put the desks together in 4s.
So there was no monitoring.
And I cheated my ass off. I cheated off Dennis Accavelli every day. He got me through 6th grade. I would have flunked out.
When I was in over in high school, in homeroom, no one would ever want to sit near me. Everybody was running around homeroom and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
because you were white, right?
When they gave midterms and finals and stuff, everybody had to sit in their homeroom seat. Everybody would try and sit near me so they could cheat off me.
Right.
Then you were popular.
And you better let those guys cheat off you.
Yeah, you had to.
Yeah,
you had to.
Hey, Howard, did you mention your shop teacher's name on the air?
Yeah.
Because this guy called, said, he went to Roosevelt around the same time that you did. He didn't know you or anything, but he swears on a stack of Bibles that he sees the shop teacher every morning and that the guy's a Jehovah's Witness now. He sees him at a train station handing out pamphlets.
Wow, no kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's great. Yeah. That was someplace.
Yeah.
You don't live in Roosevelt anymore, I take it.
No, not anymore. No. I live in Port Washington now.
Oh, that's a nice community. Nice and
Where
calm.
are
Straight to the North Shore.
Are your parents out of Roosevelt?
Yeah. We talked a couple years ago. My mother's in Bethpage now.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
When did you finally get out?
Oh, I don't know. I moved out. I was living home. I moved out about when I was 25 years old.
But they were still in Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in Roosevelt. Yeah.
Dennis was, and he lived in a giant white house. Right, Dennis?
Yeah.
Bigger than anyone's house.
Yeah. We sold that. You know what it is now? It's like a halfway house for alcoholics and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like, yeah, there's a big white house, so that, you know,
it's an institution.
It's an institution.
People living in it.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't remain friends though. That when we were under the Black Siege, I don't know why we didn't band together. But I guess it was every man for himself. It was divide and conquer.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We like everybody just kind of like split apart. Like,
yeah, I always liked you.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that we were going to have a reunion or something.
Maybe you are. I'm not. You go back.
A reunion of what?
I'll tell you something, Dennis. I refuse. My wife wants to see where I grew up. She thinks it's like a thing, and I take her and I drive her. I drive her to Rockville Center, and I go, "Oh, that's where I grew up." She goes, "It's not so bad here. Why are you complaining?" I go, "I know it's not so bad." She still thinks she's seen Roosevelt. I just drive her around different neighborhoods.
Do you really think that you would have like pains or something?
Yes, I know. I would go into a flashback. It's like if you brought a guy back from Vietnam who had been sprayed with Agent Orange.
But you know what, Howard? Robin's right. The time really has come, and you should do this even for the E! Show. We should take Robin to Roosevelt.
No.
I really want to see.
I'm not going.
Can I take her?
I will not go.
I would love to see the inside of these schools.
I would vomit.
Oh, Howard,
I would
come
vomit.
on.
I hated it there.
You know you got to get
I
over
would have the
this.
shakes.
This is not good that you still have this,
Yeah,
and it's
whenever I'm
time
on
to
the
go
subject
back.
of-
Dennis, you ever go back there?
Huh?
You ever go back?
No.
Yeah.
I went back. I passed by one time. I passed through the town, like real quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't go through there. You got to understand something. This is like going to... This is like, okay.
If I
you
can go home, you can go back to this.
Remember on
school.
Tarzan? Wait a second. You remember on Tarzan? When Tarzan would encounter a tribe that just hated any outsiders? It didn't matter. And they just attacked. They can run through the jungle and attack
even
them.
Tarzan would have trouble with those
Even
people.
Tarzan would have to, like, he'd be screaming for animals and animals wouldn't come. He'd be like, oh.
And the elephants would turn and go the other way.
And there's no animals, nothing. That's what this is like.
The lions didn't come.
You don't know what's going to happen to you. It's just a wild party.
Hey, you know, every time I'm on the Southern State Parkway with my wife, I threaten to take her through Roosevelt.
Yeah, me too. I go by the exit and I speed up past the exit.
Is there an exit that says
Yes,
Roosevelt?
it's exit 20 on the Southern State Parkway, and I go by it and I go.
21.
Yeah, exit 21, and I say to my my wife sometimes, I go, "Oh God, if we even broke down," she goes, "Broke down in front of the exit, you'd be nervous?" I go, "Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know what could happen."
And, you know, it's funny because to get to Uniondale, it's the same exit, but you go left, and whenever you tell anyone to come visit you, so whatever you do, don't make a right.
Yeah, because you might not come back.
You'll never see your friends again.
It's really that bad. And that was 20 years ago. It was bad. Imagine what it's like now.
Forget about it, I
20
guess.
years, I wouldn't know what it was.
Anybody who grew up there would not go back.
But don't you?
I would
aren't you
sooner run around
curious?
naked in Harlem.
Aren't you curious, though, Howard?
No curiosity whatsoever.
Oh, come
Don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. Don't want to see the house I grew up in.
You think your house is still there?
Oh, I know it is because I have the E-Crew go down there and shoot it so I can see what it looks like.
What's going on? Do you know who's in there?
No, don't want to know. I know it's painted yellow, a really strange color.
Checks cashed.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. It makes being a lost tourist in Florida a joyride. Honest to God, I'd rather put up with that. It's bad, man. Well, Dennis knows. He went through the war. We're like, you know what? We ought to get together and drink, like two Vietnam vets.
And tell stories.
Yeah, and like, you know, because no one else understands us.
Lay out your
Get, like,
medals.
little black berets and stuff.
Yeah, just sit there.
Berets, we survived.
You go down to like a VW hall.
The big one.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. Remember that guy who used to kick our ass? And
So
tell
Irvin
Robin
was
that guy
pretty
Irvin.
big, huh?
Irvin was really big, wasn't he?
Irvin was a big guy.
And wasn't he like a man? It was like men
Did he have
beating
like
up
the
boys.
shave and stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah. There was like a lot of guys in school like that. Yeah.
They were older than us.
At least they looked old. I mean, they could have been the same age, but they looked like they were 25 years old.
My friend, these guys were not our age. These were guys who came from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and had not gone to school for 12 years, and they just threw them in a school.
You never have to prove how old you are in school.
No, it was not a fair fight. All right, Dennis, I'm getting the shakes just talking to you.
Howard, could you put Dennis on hold? I want to talk to him.
Okay, hold on, Dennis.
Okay, take it easy.
All right, man. Another survivor.
Well, see, nothing bad happened. You survived.
It's like Auschwitz survivors getting together. Why us? Why were we the two that survived?
They're still shaking.
What about the others?
I've got 6 numbers on my arm.
Yeah, right. I should have tattoos.
Something to show that you were there.
Yeah. I'm very embarrassed, Ron, but I'm going to show you my tattoo.
Keep it covered at all times.
Yeah. I think a concentration camp was a party compared to Roosevelt.
Now you're getting really crazy. There was no gas
Sorry.
chamber at the end of the hall.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's take a break and do the news. This is ridiculous.
Enough of your silliness.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of Roosevelt.
I didn't know Dennis Accavelli would call it.
You really ought to go back. Just to see, it's just
You
like
go and check it out.
a horse, Howard.
Yeah.
You got to get back on.
As I say to my wife, there is no reason to go back. In fact, when my father pulled the car away from Roosevelt that day, I never looked back.
That was it. You've never stepped foot in there again.
I wouldn't allow my father to put his foot on the brakes because I thought it was going to be like a movie. Just as you're getting out, somebody
drag you back in?
Yeah. And we got out, and I just sat there, and I said, ooh, there's a new Italian restaurant in Rockville Center where we're moving. And I was just so excited. So excited.
I got to go check. I've never seen Roosevelt. I really got to go check this out.
To me, it's vanished. Like that city in the Superman episode that completely vanished.
Right,
and they put it in a bottle.
Yeah.
Fortress of Solitude it now sits. Whole city gone. Let's just take a break and do the news right after these words.
I had a teacher I sort of had like a crush on. Mrs. Chippy, Mrs. Rapishti. Miss Chippy, and then she got married. She was Mrs. Rapishti.
Oh, boy. Boy, that was a step up.
And I always thought she was kind of nice,
How old were you when this happened?
I was in third grade. I had a real crush on my second grade teacher, Mrs. DeMarco. She had a nice body.
You were thinking bodies at
Oh, yeah. Second grade? Yeah. She had a really nice body, and every time she'd cross and uncross her legs, it was like, maybe I'll get to see up her skirt today.
You.
I was totally distracted. Mrs. DeMarco. Miss DeMarco. I don't know what she was, but she had big jugs and a pretty nice body for a teacher. Black hair, soft kind of features, tall. She was nice. Miss DeMarco. I don't know what she looks like now. She's probably dead or something. I don't know.
In 10th grade, we had a gorgeous teacher named Miss Russell, who was our speech teacher. So at every class, she would sit in the back because you had to take turn, giving speeches. So we'd, of course, drop our pencils the whole entire time.
Yeah, well, in 6th grade, I had a student teacher who came in.
Oh.
I had Mrs. Lazar.
Uh-huh. You still remember these names?
Oh, yeah. I remember my 1st through 6th grade teachers, and don't ask me why.
Wow.
I remember their names, and I remember what they looked like. And I remember Mrs. Lazar was very impressed. I was like put into a super smart class. This was the smart class, and I have no idea why, because I was a moron.
They needed somebody to contrast.
And I had to cheat the entire 6th grade. I mean, I just literally sat there. She had special seating arranged because the kids were so smart that they could trust them.
Uh-huh.
And they were allowed to all sit together in clumps.
Oh, so they were very close.
And you were on the honor system with tests in 6th grade. And the other kids were like real defensive about, like they would cover up their papers when I started looking. I'm like, hey, man. Hey, brother. What's this? What do you mean you're not going to let me look?
Aren't we in this together?
Yeah. Aren't we in a little clump together?
Those were faggots by the old definition.
Right. Those were faggots.
Right.
Hey, faggot, let me see your paper. Those were faggots for sure. I was like, I don't believe these guys aren't going to cheat. I was like, in the Revenge of the Nerds, the only guy who would ever let me look at his paper was Dennis Accavelli. I want to thank him wherever he is. I'm sure he's somewhere.
So you admit that you cheated at school?
Oh, admit? How would I?
Oh, you.
I was a moron. I had no idea what anyone was talking about. I'd sit there. I was zoning the whole time. It was so boring.
I always thought that was.
But my daughters come home and ask me what kind of student I was, and I tell them I was great.
You lie?
Oh, absolutely, I lie.
Oh, Howard.
Well, but say to my kids, be a bad student?
Don't be like Daddy is what I say.
No, my kids are really into school, and I'm like, yes, that's the way I was.
I wish I was a better student, children.
Yep.
You're making me very proud.
I always thought figuring out.
They know I was thrown out of the 4th grade. They know about that.
Yeah, well, why were you thrown out of the 4th grade?
For conduct. I had a problem.
What did you
year.
do? What did you do?
A teacher kept a bell on her desk, and that meant she would not yell in the class. She told us the first day she would not yell.
She just rang that bell?
If she rang the bell, we had to quiet down. So this was unbelievable. So I took the bell, and I started pounding it one day, and I pounded it and broke it.
Oh, dear.
On her desk.
Out of control.
And she took me, threw me out of the classroom, and my chair was in the hall. And my mother was due that day to come in and be, it was open house.
And she walks in and you're in the hall?
Teacher was a sap. I went, I said to her, I beg of you, I will never be bad again, please. If my mother comes in and finds me in the hall, she will kill me, and that's the end of me. And I'm telling you, I've learned my lesson. I'm really very sorry. She sticks me back in the classroom. My mom comes in like 2 seconds later. After my mom leaves, I was the same rat bastard.
Oh.
The woman was weak.
So she got you. How? She
Did you get me? She was weak.
But you said you got thrown out.
Well, I mean, I got thrown out into the hall.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, no, I didn't get thrown out of school. Are you crazy? If I got thrown out of school, my father would have just chopped my head off. No, I never got thrown out of school. It wasn't that bad. But I remember this student teacher that came to teach. I wish I could think of her name. Her name I don't know.
We had just the one teacher, the female teacher I remember that all the boys loved. She used to come in with hickeys.
Really?
All over her neck. All over her neck. And then she used to hop up on her desk.
Really?
During class, when she was giving a lecture.
Just like that Van Halen video.
Yeah.
Hot for teacher.
Hop up on the desk.
And strip
and then she'd cross and uncross her legs.
Oh, my God.
And she'd be rubbing her chest the whole time. She did the lesson. These guys were just fainting.
Fainting away. We had a student teacher like that. She was a real piece of ass. I mean, she just didn't even belong in school. She belonged in Playboy. I guess she was some really hot-looking girl who was too stupid to do anything. She just became some kind of student teacher.
She wasn't going to teach long.
Yeah.
Something to do till she got married.
Right, exactly. Everybody knew where that was at. I cheated. There was a guy in high school who got me through math. I never could have passed math. Guy's name is from Rockville Center, as a matter of fact. His name is John Brown. Johnny Brown or something. I want to thank him today for getting me through high school math, Mr. Janoff's class. He just
gave you his paper.
He just moved his arm and let me look. He didn't care. This guy was no faggot. And not in the homosexual sense of the word. I mean, he was a cool guy.
That's sad. I really feel bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a moron. I didn't get it. I couldn't understand it. I just don't like it. It just was too complicated. It just was all so complicated. It was complicated. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that's pretty bad though that you had to cheat.
Yeah. Cheat? I mean, I don't think I even opened a book.
What were the 3 words that you hated the worst in high school? Show all work.
Yeah. Because you couldn't.
Because you couldn't.
Yeah, I'm like, let me copy your work. Show all work.
How did you get to that?
Yeah, how did you get to that conclusion?
I looked at John Brown's paper. What
He does my work. Please see Blue Book of John Brown.
Little asterisk.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I got to take a break. When we come back, I got to tell you about the ratings. We got a lot to do.
How are you going to deal with your children if they ever, they get caught for cheating? What are you going to say?
I'm gonna tell them how disappointed I am in them and how wrong that is, and that they should take pride in their work. You see, my parents never explained to me why, like how you're supposed to study. So I didn't understand that, like, if you read the book, you would learn this stuff.
Well, there's a leap.
I just couldn't get into it. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't get the whole concept of like studying and like learning the stuff. But I got to college. I worked real hard. I didn't cheat at all. I graduated magna cum laude, even though it was like mostly Ingmar Bergman movies.
And,
yeah, but that stuff was interesting. You watch a movie and then you comment on it. That I could understand. That was easy.
Very disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. What can I tell you?
I'm disappointed. I can't believe it.
You're not working with a bright guy.
I'm disappointed in you. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I know you because you were really very honest and goody two shoes. Although you were a shoplifter. All right, we'll take a break.
Only books.
I see. We'll be back right after these words. What is it? Every time I start talking, I get an interruption. What is this?
Your mother's on the phone.
My mother's on the phone? What does she want?
She wants to reprimand you for cheating.
It's a little late to reprimand me for cheating. What's the matter?
I just wanted to say, it's not for cheating, Robin.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say that after you tell these long tales...
Why would I lie about something like that?
People come up to me and they say, is Howard telling the truth? Did that really happen?
Let me ask you something, Ma. Did you ever see me... Excuse me,
Howard.
my darling. You know, I'm so sick and tired of you calling up and creating this history for me that doesn't exist. I smoked pot in high school. And did Quaaludes, okay? I'm gonna break the news to you.
Why are you so proud of saying
I'm not proud of it, but I'm honest. And I got to be honest about my life.
You took Ludes in high school?
Yeah, I took Ludes in front of my mother with a friend of mine.
in high school.
My friend and I were so smashed that we had to go sit outside on lawn chairs so we wouldn't...
I mean, this boy has an imagination.
Oh, you're something else.
You would not believe. I mean, it's unreal. And if anything, Howard...
You remember the time... Hold it. I'm going to bring you back to the day. You remember the time me and my friend Ed... Remember we were eating egg salad? Remember you made us lunch?
Yeah.
You remember that day?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. We were
I
so
have a
smashed.
good memory, Howard. It's
We
true
took a
that-
bunch. Listen, I'm not going to be honest with you. I'm not going to hide my past from you. If you can't handle it, don't listen.
You don't have to be honest with me because all these.
I got to be honest with my audience. I'm anti-drug now. I told you it was the wrong thing to do, but what happened was
Are
the
you
lewds
gonna
kicked
say
in.
that cheating is the wrong thing to do?
Yes,
too?
of course.
Good.
The lewds kicked in while we were eating lunch with you, so we ran. Do you remember we went in the backyard? You set up lawn chairs for me and Ed.
I set them up.
Yeah, we set up lawn chairs,
Okay, I'll buy that.
and I had to sit out there get some air because I was passing out.
You were passing out.
What do you think? You were so funny that day? We were laughing our asses off. What do you think? You're a comedian?
I was funny.
Who are you? Yeah, I'm saying. Why do you think we were laughing our asses off?
Why?
We were smashed.
Oh,
You thought you were funny.
Howard.
She thought she was killing.
She thought she had to go on the stage.
Believe me.
And as far as listen, when I left,
Imagination is going full swing this
in
morning.
Mrs. Lazar's 6th grade class, I cheated off everybody.
The reason you were put into Mrs. Lazard's class is because you did very good in the test that they give at the end of the term.
Yeah, they gave tests and reading comprehension. I had very high reading comprehension.
That's
so
right.
So they stuck
only
me in.
1 year, Howard.
Yeah.
It only happened 1 year.
Right, so you know what happened with me? Robin, you know my personality. They taught us how to read like in 1st grade or something,
Yeah.
and I was so fascinated by it. I read everything I get my hands
As a
on.
matter of fact, Howard.
So they put me in a 2nd grade. They put me in a I was way too smart. It was a way too smart a class for me because I had this high reading comprehension. Because when I get into something, I really get into reading.
Yeah.
So then in 2nd grade, I got bored of reading, started reading comic books. So then they put me back into this stupid class in 3rd grade. And then I don't know what happened, but somehow in 5th grade, they gave us some kind of test. They must have mixed up the test
They
scores.
should have given you a test on Mad Magazine. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, you would have passed with flying.
And my mother threw out all my Mad magazines.
Oh, those Mad Magazines.
It was such a great magazine. My mom was like, ugh, ugh.
Because that was
It's
the
so how to
extent
bother
of
you.
your reading.
You know, my cousin Jack made all of the comic books for DC Comics.
Yeah. Right.
I'm talking about like all the original Supermans, all that stuff.
Right.
So I had every one of them.
Right.
And it bothered my mother that I had these things. I had them in my basement.
Because you didn't do any serious reading, Howard. You'd never picked up a book.
Yeah,
All it was those comic books and that Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
They were strewn all over the place.
So it bothered her so much. She gives them away to this kid on my block, Robert Tobias, and I still remember the guy's name. She took like wagons full of my comic books and Mad Magazine and gave them away. You absolutely! How dare you?
You gave it.
I gave it. You made me get rid of them. You made me get rid of them. That's right. That's right. To add to my humiliation, I had to take the wagon down to Robert Tobias's house.
Let's get back to these stories of cheating.
Yeah.
Because
So then they put me in this class I didn't belong in because I tested through the roof on this 5th grade reading comprehension test. I must have had a good day. I was clear that day, and by fluke I tested really well. They
you're
stick me.
proud of not being smart, Howard? Is
No,
that
listen, I got to be honest with the audience. I have street smarts.
You don't have to say anything.
I think Walt Disney rewrote my mother's memory. You know what I mean? Like they brought him in.
And she made your life a fairy tale.
Yeah. So anyway, they put me in this class, and they grouped us in seats of 4, where you could sit and look at everyone else's papers.
Howard, that's not true. You
Ma.
don't even know the seating arrangement. Does
You
she
were
know
a
the
very
seating
Ma.
outstanding little boy.
What happened in
and
4th
you
grade?
behaved yourself, or you knew what?
What happened in 4th grade?
What happened in 4th grade?
What did I get in conduct?
Well, that was a fluke that year.
So that was a fluke.
That teacher had
Tell
never
it.
taught before, and she
It was
didn't
her
know how to
fault.
handle the class.
I got a D in conduct,
But let me tell you something.
and the woman went into a home
And
afterwards.
you didn't get D in conduct after that. Let me tell you, your father told you where it was at. And you behaved yourself. And besides,
Yeah, no kidding. Dad was hitting me.
and when it came to cheating in high school, you were having straight tutors at home. As a matter
And
of
I still needed to cheat. I still needed to cheat.
No, you didn't need to cheat because you were ahead of the class.
With that
the
friggin'
tutors.
Spanish.
No.
No, that was 1 year in math. All the rest of the years I flunked almost. As soon as we moved to a white neighborhood, I
Do
started
you
doing
have
bad.
any of your old report cards?
My mother burned
I
them.
threw them out. They were a disgrace. Say those things.
They were a disgrace. My mother had tutors, and I still couldn't do well.
I certainly would not show those report cards to his children. What would I do with them?
My kids are great students.
See, they should be able to see this.
No.
should be
Yeah,
able
that'll be
Now you're
great.
telling me you're going to lie to your kids. You
Absolutely.
Can be honest with the audience. You're going to lie to your kids.
I am going to lie to my
You know,
kids.
if I start to talk about him in school at home, he
I'm
goes,
Well, why would you want to ruin those beautiful little girls who love their
won't
school?
ruin them.
And who
I won't ruin
who
them.
actually live in fear of their teachers giving them a bad mark.
Those kids are on the right track.
You're damn right they are.
That's right.
Oh, better for them than...
Believe me, you were on the right track.
All I remember is that I should have been on the right track. Like, I should have paid
were on
attention.
You know he's blaming
I
you.
watched
He's blaming you for that.
No, I don't.
You did.
When I lived in the...
parents didn't teach you how to study.
No, my mother never... My mother... Ma, did you ever see me do any homework? Tell the truth. Did you ever...
You did homework.
Ma?
I don't know what
Ma,
you're
did you
saying
ever
here.
once see me do homework?
I don't believe
What
that
would
you
happen
give
every
up
night?
the
Tell the
borderline.
truth. Hey, are you going to lie or are you going to tell the truth? What would happen? Every night you'd say, why don't you go do homework? I'd go up to the room, and what would I do? I would do nothing. You know that.
That's not true.
Didn't you check? Did he have to bring you his homework?
Did you ever check my homework?
Robin, if I tell you he didn't take 2 steps without our knowing
You know you're
what he
senile.
was
You know what?
doing.
Hold it a second, Ma. Stay on hold. I got to call the old age home because it's time to lock you up.
You wish.
It's time to get you some dog food at the old age
I wish
home.
you could shut me up, but you're not going to, Howard, because I tell it like it is.
Oh, I could shut you up in 2 seconds. Here, watch this. So, give any to Dad lately?
What?
Do anything for Dad lately?
I always do things for Dad.
Oh, really?
That's what I devote my life to.
She devotes her life to my father.
That's right. To my
So
family.
so you're
That's what
pleasing
I
him?
did. And that's why you turned out so well. And don't
you-
let
answer the question.
anybody else believe anything
Do you and Dad
else,
still have sex?
Pardon?
Do you and Dad still have sex?
It's none of your business.
Why?
Because it's none
let's
of
be
your
honest.
business what I do.
I think you need some sex to get the blood running through your brain. You're recreating history.
Howard,
Hey, listen,
yourself today.
I just can't imagine you.
Because
I can't imagine
reviewed
you
your
giving
story,
Dad
You don't
anything.
have to get nasty.
I can't imagine you giving Dad
I want
anything.
you to know, and I want all the kids to know, that you are a very serious little boy, and that we watch
With his
every
Mad
step of the
magazines.
way your
Yeah.
progress.
She's completely hypocritical.
And believe me, you didn't grow up all by yourself. You grew up with 2 parents that cared about you and loved you.
2 parents that almost sent me to the funny farm. Couldn't wait to get out of that house.
That's all I had to say. And to those people who are going to ask me if the story
Do you enjoy
true, they
sex?
are not
You know what? I never have asked you this in my entire life. And, there's things I want to talk to my mother
Come
about.
right out with it, Howard.
Okay.
Don't be bashful.
Do you enjoy sex?
Do I enjoy sex? I think I do.
Oh, my God. You know what? I bet you our sex lives are a tie. I bet you I get as much sex as you do.
Listen, does your father look unhappy to you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't imagine,
The
like,
big funny of the day.
have you done anything beside the missionary position ever?
None of your business.
I bet you never have.
None.
I bet you
You're
never.
not getting any of that information from
I'll
me.
bet you $100 right
I
now.
don't ask you what positions you
I'll tell you what. You want to know what positions I
No,
use?
I'm not interested.
My wife's interested in one position. Missionary. That's it.
That's it.
She's
And
like
that's
you.
What you do. You do what your wife likes. That's how you have a happy marriage.
Have you and Dad ever had sex twice in the same day?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I bet you the answer is
Think
no.
Out of my head.
I bet you the last time you had sex with Dad is 5 years ago.
Well,
I'll bet you.
If you choose to think that, that's your problem. That's it.
My mother wants to be celibate.
Why do we always wind up with a sex discussion?
I'm just so curious.
You're curious.
And I've seen, like,
I'm going to write a book one day.
and my mother never does anything to turn my father on.
What do you mean by that?
She would never shave.
Oh.
Never. She would never shave.
What do you mean? What are you saying? Her legs?
No, I don't mean her legs. You know exactly what I mean. My mother doesn't shave her legs. She has hair on her legs.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You don't shave your legs. Tell Robin.
No, I don't need to.
Oh, yes, you do.
Well,
Of course you
now
do.
you gave me a piece of information I didn't have.
Of course you got to shave your legs.
Well, that's what you think.
My mother thinks a few black hairs don't mean anything.
And they don't. What's a few black hairs between friends? Right?
She's like, she doesn't care. And I know my mother would never groom herself for my father. Never.
I am a well-groomed person. I take
No.
care of myself.
My mother's like, because I get my wife finally to get bikini waxes, and my mother's like, they ripped the hair out?
That's disgusting, bikini waxes. Who would do a thing like that? For what reason?
Ma, because you're hanging out of your bathing suit.
You know what?
It's like a forest.
Well, I must say, I've never seen her hanging out of her bathing.
Oh, yes, I have.
You're right, Robin.
I have, too. My mother charges around in a bathing suit, you see, and my mother wears an apron on a bathing suit, and you still see stuff hanging out.
Oh, no.
It's a vest.
Oh, no.
It's true, Ma.
What? What's true, Howard?
You know exactly what's true.
I'm very presentable. That's all that's necessary.
And as far as school goes, you know,
Yes, and as far as school goes,
in high school, I had to
very
cheat.
hard. You didn't make it too good in high school, but you did good in college.
College,
and
I worked hard.
You became a serious student.
That's true. I've always said that.
And you knuckled down.
So why would I lie about high school? I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. I cheated off of everybody.
I'm not lying either. You were not a good student.
You think he failed on his own?
Yeah. Thank you.
That's exactly it. He did.
Once in a while, I would study. Once in a while, I would study, and then I would do well.
Yeah.
I once got 100 on a biology class.
There you go.
Yeah, on one test.
Well, then if you knew how, you didn't need anybody to tell you.
Mrs. Robbins, Southside High School. Howard, see, you can do well. You must have studied.
That's
Yeah, okay,
right. You
great.
could
I can't wait to
do
get the hell out of this place. Jesus, like I need biology. I'm going to be an idiot on the radio. What do I need biology for?
No. It's too bad you can't
My mother,
do it
when we were trapped in the black community because my parents felt it was good for me.
Yeah.
Because they decided to be liberal.
And it was good for you. Look at all this conversation.
You know, it was great. So I could have found other conversation.
Oh, believe
So
me.
I'm in the black community.
At least you
And I'm
saw
even
every
as bad as I am, I'm like almost a valedictorian of the school because believe me, if you
You
saw
were no valedictorian.
come on,
ever.
be
And
honest.
don't even get
I had an
that
average in the
into your head.
90s. I had
Don't even get
my
that
old
into
report
your
card.
head.
Call up Roosevelt and get my old records.
I want to see transcripts.
That's not true. He was no
I would have been the valedictorian of that.
And I can get people to prove that.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I'm not.
Make my day.
Make my day.
So then we go over to Southside, and the guidance counselor, my mother trots me into the guidance counselor the first day, and the guidance counselor looks at her and goes, what was his average in Roosevelt? My mother goes,
It was
not.
a woman,
Yeah, it was a woman.
Mrs. Popper.
Right. She goes, my mother goes, well, his average was a 90. And Mrs. Popper goes, you'll have a D average here. And my mother got crazy and brought me home and said, how dare that woman say my son will have a D average? That is so self-defeating, and that's terrible. And guess what? I had a D average. She was right.
Have a D average.
Okay.
All right, Howard. Look.
All right, let's review, Ma.
I wanted to make my statement.
Let's
That's
review. I didn't get stoned. I didn't cheat. My father has masturbated since 1964,
Oh, stop it.
and my mother has a bird's nest in her lap.
Oh!
She does.
What does that mean?
You got to get a bikini wax. I'm telling you.
A bikini wax I'll never get. And I say to all women, I don't know what they're doing to themselves. They're crazy. They're really crazy.
Robin, you get a bikini wax, right?
I don't wax, no.
What do you do?
No,
I
she wouldn't
shave.
do.
She shaves. She shaves.
She shaves. Well,
And you should, too.
I don't know what the story is on that.
You get a weed whacker, go through that
I'll
thing.
have to discuss it with Robin in detail.
My mother's natural. My mother's a free thinker.
Robin, we have to have a talk.
Yeah.
I'll straighten her out.
You go lather up. All right, Mother. I love Mommy.
I love you.
Mommy, I love you.
I love you too.
And don't
Yeah, and
put-
I think I hear you're planning a big surprise for me for Mother's Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you one of them bears. And don't call me Houch on the radio. Just say Howard. All right.
Ouch is the name.
No. Come on, give me a break, huh?
No.
Sound like a big pansy.
It just comes out automatically. That's it.
I love you, Mommy.
All right, Bubsy.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Boopsie. Huh? You gotta love her. I tell you, it was a nightmare being raised by that woman. I had a choice between being raised by a pack of wolves and that woman. I would go with a pack of wolves. It was you hear that? It was constant.
It certainly didn't help you. You didn't do anything right.
No. She used to hit me with a hanger. That gentle woman on the phone.
She didn't hit you much.
All right, we'll be back right after these words.